What's happening, everyone, and welcome to the Rory Jennings Show on another sensational day of Premier League action. And the full-time whistle has just blown at the City Ground, and Arsenal have been held to a 0-0 draw. It's a weekend where they could have extended their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 7 points. Well, they did, in fact, extend the lead at the top of the table to 7 points, but weirdly, it could feel like a missed opportunity. They had an opportunity to go to 9 points. They could have really pulled away from Man City, and ultimately, they haven't taken it. Arsenal fans, do you feel like you had a chance and have ultimately blown it, or does it feel like a good weekend? You have extended the lead over Man City, and there is another game out of the way. Are you ruthless enough? Should you have won? But ultimately, is it okay? Elsewhere, it was all joy for West Ham United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yet again, Tottenham fans, I know that you're not happy, and I really do want to hear from you. Please do get in touch. 03717 223344. Give me a bell, because I really want to hear your thoughts on Thomas Frank. It feels like it is well and truly over. Losing to West Ham United in what is one of your biggest games of the season, totally and utterly unacceptable. Remember, we're live on YouTube and on your smart TV, but now it's all about you and your opinions. So give us a call on 03717 223344 to air your views to the nation on the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT. Oh, it has been an amazing day of Premier League action. It really has. There's so much for us to get our teeth into. Manchester United in the opening game of the day were absolutely sublime. Sensational stuff. Michael Carrick looking regal on the touchline, and the Stretford end in raptures. Manchester City, it felt like it was a terrible day for them. But because of Arsenal's inefficiencies in front of goal, maybe, just maybe, it's not quite the crisis day for Man City that it could have been. And one of the major reasons is because Arsenal, they just looked a little bit lacklustre in front of goal. And a big reason that they looked so lacklustre in front of goal was because of Victor Gyökeres. I've got some stats for you here. Victor Gyökeres, tonight at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest, a team in a perilous position in the Premier League table, he was subbed after 57 minutes. He cost 64 million quid. Tonight's stats: 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots on target, 0 dribbles, 0 key passes, 0 out of 2 ground duels won, 0 out of 5 aerial duels won. It really wasn't a good day at the office for Victor Gyökeres. There was also a moment where it felt like he seized on an opportunity, and Murillo easily tracked him down, hunted him down, and stuffed out any potential danger to the Nottingham Forest goal. We're going straight to the phone lines now. Let's speak to Jack. Jack called 03717 223344. That is the number to call if you want to be live on talkSPORT. How are you, Jack?
Evening, mate. You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm all right. Not too bad. Not well. I mean, I would have been a lot happier if we was leaving the ground with 3 points. But to be honest, mate, it's a bit of an anticlimax. I know we've gained another point on City, but I'm just thinking of the last 2 performances, mate, against Liverpool, and then tonight, you're looking at a situation where City have slipped up both games, and we've had 2 chances to capitalise. And you're talking about, we played against Liverpool, and I don't care what anyone says, there's no sugarcoating it. We're at home, and we're playing against a depleted, weakened Liverpool side, right? So that was a chance we should have gone out, and we could have capitalised, and we could have took advantage, and we could have run them into the ground. And in games like tonight, exactly the same situation. We didn't capitalise and take advantage. And that, for me, I get so wound up because throughout the course of the season, I keep kidding myself and telling myself, no, maybe this year's going to be a little bit different. I think, our attitudes changed a little bit, and we looked a little bit different, and blah, blah, blah. And it's games like that and the games against Liverpool that just confirm to me that we are the same old Arsenal for the past 4 or 5 years.
But Jack, there's one difference.
Trauma of PTSD.
Jack, there's one difference here. 7 points is a commanding lead, isn't it? We're at the end of January. 7 points is a commanding lead.
It's not. For me, 9 points, right? I know it sounds silly. 9 points for me tonight would, in my personal opinion, it would have shut the league out for anyone else, and the league was ours. That 7 points, you're still leaving that door slightly open. That you're still giving City a little bit of hope. And people may call me crazy for that, but I don't care. 7 points compared to 9 is the difference is massive.
Can I ask you about the team selection? When I looked at the bench today, Bukayo Saka on the bench, Leandro Trossard on the bench, and I think Trossard, I don't know how highly you rate him, Jack, but I think he's one of the best finishers at your club. I think he could actually be the best finisher at the club.
He's actually my favourite player this year.
Class.
I've always loved Trossard.
Class player.
He's been one of our best players this year. His goal contributions. I think he's either first or second for top goal contributions for this year. But I love him.
I think he's brilliant. But you had Saka on the bench, Trossard on the bench, Eze on the bench, Jesus on the bench. Do you think it was too weak? Do you think you should have gone more for the jugular?
I mean, to be truthful, I thought he was going to start our usual lineup, having Saka over Madueke. Because I mean, look, I do. I'm just hurting now at the minute because I don't want to slate them down too much because I do love my club. But I mean, how we've actually started a lot of games this year, sort of like the 65th, 70th minute. That's when we bring on like your Maduekes and your Ezes and your Martinellis and then your Jesuses and maybe Havertz because we've got that rotation. But for me, I did see this. I would have gone with Saka over Madueke to be truthful, and I would have put Trossard in over Martinelli personally. But I would have kept Gyökeres because that's what we've been doing for the whole time. And then I would have brought Jesus on like we did second half. But yeah, I mean, I just think we just failed to capitalise again, mate. And look, I know, like, fair play to Forest. You know, they seem to be okay at home. I know in terms of their performances, they're not doing that well in compared to what they was last year. You know, they're always going to be that tough low block team to get through. But I mean, we had a couple of chances. I don't know how Martinelli missed that one, by the way.
Yeah, there was that moment when Gyökeres went through as well when I expected him to do so much better. But that is an excellent call there from Jack. So Arsenal fans, I really do want to hear from you. Do you see it as a point gained or do you see today as 2 points dropped? If nothing else, you have moved yet another point further away from Man City. And for that alone, it has to be a good day at the office, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts. 03717 223344. We're going to speak to Danny now. Danny is a Nottingham Forest fan. Danny, 5 points clear of West Ham United.
Well, it's not enough, Rory, but I'll be honest with you. We rode our luck today. I looked at the team sheet. I too couldn't believe that Saka wasn't starting. But you know what today? The difference was we just battled and worked hard off the ball, you know?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? You're a good side. You're a good side. I think Elliot Anderson's an excellent player. You are capable. Like, I don't think Nottingham Forest go down. I think you are right. You rode your luck today, but Arsenal are the best team in the country. You're going to have to ride your luck to get something out of the game. What did you think? Now the game's over, you've secured your point. Danny, did you think it was a penalty? Ola Reina?
Listen, I couldn't see that, to be perfectly honest. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. If they'd have given it, I don't know, that would have been our luck. But when we got to that 82 plus... And I just thought, here we go. And we just continued the battle. Yeah, you talk about Ellis and Anderson. For me, Hudson-Odoi today played out of his skin. He was absolutely relentless. That side, on the left-hand side, they played really well. The difference with Sangari coming in as a 6 and Ola Aina on the right-hand side, it just gives us that stability again, and we've been missing it so much. A really good performance, and like you say, I think we're good enough to stay up, but at the end of the day, the truth is in the pudding. When we get to that end, after 38 games, we're still there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to be slightly more positive, Danny. Arsenal have won 5 games in a row away from home. Yeah. You managed to stop that, and also the man of the match, a standout performer. Bearing in mind some of the glorious footballs that were on the pitch in an Arsenal shirt, the best player on the pitch, in my opinion, was Elliot Anderson.
Yeah. No, I do. Don't get me wrong. I am Mr. Awful. But today I went in. I'd have absolutely bitten her hand off if they'd have offered a draw. But I didn't think that was on the cards. But as we got closer and closer, and the battling that we did, I genuinely thought, wow, we're going to come away with something. And when that whistle went, you could see the Forest fans, they were absolutely shattered. And you can't ask for any more. The fans there, that's all they want to see. They want to see everybody giving 100%.
And that's what Sean Dyche. That is what Sean Dyche brings to the team. That is what he brings to any team that he's at. And it was a great performance from Nottingham Forest. They got exactly what they wanted out of the game. We're going to speak to Mark now. Mark, the Arsenal fan. Not ideal. You didn't get what you wanted out of the game. But how do you see this, Mark? Is it 2 points dropped or is it 1 point gained?
I think it's a bit of both, really. I'd definitely take a point away, as you would do normally. I thought we looked a bit flat. I thought Elliot Anderson was the best player on the pitch. I thought the whole atmosphere in the ground was flat anyway. I couldn't believe we didn't start with Saka. I'm sick of seeing Gyökeres start anyway, home and away. They keep showing faith to him. He's lazy, he hides behind defenders. He just offers me nothing really. We make all the effort to go. He doesn't make the effort when he's there. But I'll take the point. We're 7 clear now. And
Mark, are you on your way home from the ground? Were you in the game? Were you at the game?
Yeah, we're just left me and my boy just left the ground now. Just driving home.
What was the mood like in the away end at the end?
Frustrated. It was frustrating. I've got to say, as much as your last caller just said about the Forest fans, they were silent. They looked petrified the first half. We looked frustrated second half. I haven't seen the penalty incident, but apparently, from what I've heard, it was a stone wall, but you never know. But you can tell me more than that. But it was a bit frustrating. It's frustrating, though. To go away from home again, not score. But Saka not starting is a bit of a weird one. The Dweke, he's either hot or cold, and he was pretty cold today, I have to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those.
Do you know what's interesting, Mark? And I don't want this to sound at all patronising, but I sometimes think that perhaps Arsenal fans have forgotten what it takes to win a league. Like, you know the point that you got against Liverpool? Did you see that as a good point, or did you see that as 2 points dropped?
Well, again, I saw it as frustrating. I'm 54, so I've seen us win the league several times. Never seen us win the Champions League like you have for your club, but I've seen us win the league. So I know it's not, when you look at the unbeatables, we drew 12 games, so you don't win every game. And a lot of fans, they just want showcase reels of glory goals every game. So I get that. Going away from home to Forest is a hard game. It is a hard game.
Agreed.
The Liverpool game at home, that was more where we should have won, because they offered nothing. They were depleted. Their XG was 0-0, which I hate XG anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this game, we've gone away. Their tails are up. They don't want to lose to us. We did dominate possession, as I saw it anyway, especially in the first half. Maybe not as much second half, but now we take a point. City go to United and don't get a point.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's a good point. You've got a 7-point cushion over Man City with 22 games played. I think it's a really good day, and I do understand the frustrations, Mark, and I do understand where you're coming from, but overall, I think if you offered any Arsenal fan 22 games played, 7 points clear of Manchester City, not winning in the last 4, I think that Arsenal fans should be over the moon with the way that it's going. I appreciate that today does feel like 2 points dropped, simply because you saw Man City stumble earlier in the day, and when you watch your rivals stumble, on some definition, you have to make the most of it. But ultimately, it's 7 points clear. Now, all eyes are obviously on North London. Arsenal failed to score for the second Premier League game running, and Arsenal only picked up a point at Nottingham Forest. Should you be 9 points clear is the question, but you are 7 points clear. Are you disappointed with tonight's team selection and with your shot-shy £64 million striker, Victor Gyökeres? And Tottenham fans, I haven't forgotten about you. I really do want to hear from you. Get in touch. 03717 223344 is the number to call. I really do want you to have your say on Thomas Frank. The phone lines are open, and I'll be speaking to you next on the Rory Jennings Show on talkSPORT. Absolutely unbelievable day of Premier League action. The calls are coming in thick and fast. Arsenal fans generally don't seem particularly impressed, particularly happy, and they do seem to be seeing this 0-0 draw at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest as 2 points dropped. Very rare for me, but I feel like I'm the voice of reason here. You've extended your lead over Manchester City. A 7-point cushion is the stuff dreams are made of. Let's see what Gabby, the Arsenal fan, thinks about all this. Gabby, you're live on talkSPORT.
Hello, Rory. It's your good friend who we had you said Wirtz was the signing of the season, and you still haven't been proven right, even though he got an assist today, lad.
No, I think do you know what? On that one, I'm ready to rein it in. I'm ready to admit defeat. Yeah. Gabby, if I remember rightly, you were singing the praises of Victor Gyökeres. Do we call this 1-1?
No. We had a intellectual debate on a guy coming in that was half the price of. That's the chestnut.
Gabby, you've played that well. You played that well. I've admitted defeat and you've manoeuvred. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah. I've sidestepped it, Rory, mate, if I'm honest.
No, fair play. What do you think?
Do you know what? Well, listen, I was in the West End Lower Wednesday night watching us concede 2 sloppy goals against you lot Wednesday, and I've just sat on the standing part of Forest, and I've had to be quiet for an hour, 90 minutes, and not say a dicky, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of my friends in our group, the lads, they're fuming. They're absolutely seething, right? But I think people have forgot the notion of what's happened today. The freak results that have gone on today, Rory, really, we should have lost that with whatever else had gone on today. We have been very, very guilty today. There's 4 or 5 players that were guilty of real good chances today. But I'm not sitting there mad. I'm sitting there thinking, we've kept a clean sheet. We've got a point up on City this weekend. And we've just played 3 away games, and we've got a 4th one in a row in like 12 days, mate. I can't see why people... You know, we're not going to win every game 3, 4, 5-0. The Forest ground, the City ground, is a hard place in previous years to get a result, and they fought for that point tonight. They really did.
See, Gabby, I completely agree with you. I think any time you come up against a Sean Dyche side, it's going to be tough. Going to the City ground, on the Trent there, it's always going to be tough. When you're playing a team that are down the bottom, potential relegation fodder, it's going to be tough. They also have some excellent players. Elliot Anderson will be starting for England at a World Cup, in my opinion. Callum Hudson-Odoi is an excellent player. Morgan Gibbs-White is an excellent player. They're really good players. I don't understand how Arsenal fans seem to be quite so angry. I'll tell you what I understand, Gabby. I can rationalise the anxiety of Arsenal fans because of what they've gone through before with Pep Guardiola or whatever else. What I can't really understand is the anger. You're 7 points clear towards the end of January. It's fine, isn't it?
It's game management. I mean, we've got players coming back all the time, Rory, and I think there's been a lot of grumbles this week about Saka and Gyökeres having problems and stuff like that, and nobody really knows if there is in-house issues. So today we could have been going to that game today with all the mumbles and grumbles we've heard, and there could be a case of, actually, lads, we've gone out, we've fought as a team, and we've got a point. We can't. I think it's a bit of a given. You're going to the Emirates now, away games, and people are thinking we're going to roll every team over. That's not how premierships are won. I'm 42 years of my life, and most seasons there's going to be half a dozen games where you're really going to have to get your teeth stuck in. You know, as a Chelsea fan with Mourinho, how many games did you have to squeeze out?
I completely agree, Gabby. This is what I was saying, and I felt like I sounded slightly patronising when I was speaking to the previous caller. I didn't want it to sound that way at all. But Arsenal haven't won a league for over 2 decades. In order to win a league, when you play Liverpool, who are the champions, whatever you think of their form, they're the champions and they deserve respect as the champions. If you get a draw against the existing champions when you're already top of the league, it's not a bad result. If you go away to City and you nick a point on the day when your biggest rival drops 3, you get 1, they drop 3. Again, I don't think it's a bad point. I think the value of a good point seems to have been lost by Arsenal fans because potentially of their experiences in being chased or chasing Pep Guardiola.
It's when you look at it, Rory, last season, I think every team that went to the City ground would have taken a point before the match with the way they played last season.
Yeah.
Why is it suddenly because they're 17th, it's suddenly, and they're playing potentially a manager that, I mean, I'll give Forest fans their due because they're not an offensive club. They didn't actually play as low a block as I thought they would. They actually did play better football than a lot of different sides I've seen play against us this year. So that was another thing. I think you have to give Forest credit. They didn't just sit everybody behind the ball. But we are a little bit guilty. You know what O'Hara will be saying on Monday night. He'll be saying, "Oh, we're wasteful. We're not clinical enough." But
is there any truth in that, though, Gabby? Gabby, whether O'Hara says it as a wind-up or not, if he does say it, is he accurate?
I think he's saying it because he's deflecting his own woes of that club and what they're going through. I've got the clip from me the other night saying after Chelsea, O'Hara, you don't want to turn up Monday night for has anyone seen if you lose to West Ham. And his words were, they are garbage. We're not going to lose to them. So I know that's deflecting from our result tonight, but...
Okay, Gabby, I'll tell you what, Gabby, let's just say, forget making this about Tottenham. If Jamie O'Hara were to say that Arsenal were lacking a ruthless quality, would he be right or wrong?
I think every team has games where we would all get angry, where we've not been clinical, and tonight is just one of them nights. But
Gabby, you could be a politician, mate. You could be a politician. You've done really well there. That's twice. You've made me admit that I was. You've made me admit I was wrong about Wirtz when you haven't admitted you were wrong about Gyökeres. I've asked you if O'Hara were to say that you were that you're lacking a ruthless quality. You've managed to divert the question into something else. I think it's fair to say that with Victor Gyökeres up front, you're impotent.
Yeah, it's harsh on the lad. I mean, in a sense that he hasn't done it last sport in Lisbon, and you could argue that wasn't a huge league to turn up the flowers like he did. But you know what? I think we've not really got Jesus, Havertz. They're all 7 to potentially 7.5 out of 10s. We haven't got a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Gabby, last question, right? And you answer this succinctly, please, and honestly. Gabby, do Arsenal win the league in May? Is it a merry month of May for Arsenal?
I really honestly think, Rory, I think it'll be an overreaction for the next few days, but I can tell you something, Arsenal, I believe in my heart and my head that we will be coming away with one big trophy and maybe one small trophy. We could, and I was even saying this earlier this week, it would be ironic that imagine they end up doing a treble after waiting all these years for an actual success.
And I'll tell you what, Gabby, we will cross that imaginary bridge when we get to it. Thank you very much for your call, Gabby. Really good to talk to you. We're going to now cross and speak to Wayne. Wayne is a Tottenham fan. Wayne, Tottenham fans were singing "You're getting sacked in the morning" to their own manager. It's over, isn't it?
Yeah. I've stuck with him, and I think it's untenable. I don't think you can go forward from this. I've stuck with him, not because I think he's the greatest manager ever. I think it's just a Tottenham fan all my life. I'm 56 years old. I just get fed up with this whole cycle of you go through, a year and you've got to reset. It goes wrong, and you don't want to go through it again. So I think, but there becomes a point whereby we can't. And it's not just like, everybody has a bad day at the office. You can't just... It's an accumulation of so I went with my son today. He's a Liverpool fan. He came along. We've got 2 season tickets.
Oh, where did it all go wrong, Wayne?
Well, probably went wrong after 2019 Champions League. Everybody will say, well, what he said, he's never seen toxicity like it. He was shocked at how bad it was.
Well, the thing is, I feel like it's... Do you know what, Wayne? You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the derby between West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspur is incredibly intense. It's bitter. It's aggressive. It's everything you want from a derby, but there is genuine venom. Even the more mild Tottenham fans losing at home to a pitiful West Ham team, that is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, isn't it?
Yeah. I just don't see how he survives after this. I'm sure, I really truly believe the board has really tried to stick with him for probably the reasons that I said. They don't want to have to start all over again. I don't believe they have a plan B. This is it. Well, this is what they set their hearts on. However many months ago it was. I've got a funny feeling he isn't going to go.
You don't think he'll go? Well, you think they're going to persevere with him, Wayne?
Yeah. It's just crazy because it's the first time I've said it. Yeah. And you can't. You can't play like that for as long as we have, and it has been pretty turgid for as long as we have, and then you play like we did today. To be fair, we weren't too bad early on. Actually, quite good. But the problem is, it took just the smallest thing. A goal's not the smallest thing, but it took that, and it was a pretty nasty deflection and all of that, and he shouldn't have got into that position in the first place. But
ultimately, Wayne, do you think it's over for Frank, or can he rescue it? I think that silence there from Wayne tells us everything that we need to know. Now, still to come on talkSPORT this evening, it's the best boxing show on the radio. It's Fight Night with Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davis. But for now, keep your calls coming in to me on a huge day of Premier League action as Arsenal failed to take advantage of Manchester City's slip-up. Tottenham are in crisis after another defeat, and Oliver Glasner launches an explosive rant about Crystal Palace. 03717 223344. I'm looking at the switchboard now. You give that number a bell, there is almost a guarantee that you will be on talkSPORT next.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to the Rory Jennings Show. It has been a pulsating day of Premier League action. Thomas Frank is on the brink at Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur's home support was singing that Thomas Frank will be getting sacked in the morning. That is how toxic it has got at White Hart Lane. Arsenal fans, the ones I've spoken to at least, seem fairly down in the dumps. They seem fairly gutted. It doesn't make sense to me. They got a 7-point cushion over Man City, and even today, and what is perceived to be a bad day for Arsenal, they have extended the lead at the top of the Premier League to 7 points. There is also a lot going on at Crystal Palace that we're going to get into, and Manchester City, a day that started off so badly for them. There is now a world where it hasn't ended that badly because they have seen their nearest and dearest title rival drop points as well. We're now live on YouTube and also on Android TV and Google TV. We're even on Prime Video, so come and see us in full HD. But now it's all about you and your opinions. So give me a call, 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. That way you can air your views to the nation on the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT. We're going to go straight back to the phone lines and we are going to speak to Alex, the Arsenal fan. Alex, sir, you were live on talkSPORT. I've been telling the world that it's not a bad day for Arsenal, but Arsenal fans seem to be disagreeing with me. Where do you sit on that debate?
Obviously, it's not the end of the world that we've picked up a point, but I feel like a title-winning team needs to be picking up 3 points in games like this, especially when we've just watched City drop points today against Man United. Obviously, I know the hunger's there because of what's happened over the last 3 years. We must be more desperate than ever to win a title now. But as I say, well, after seeing today's result, I feel like, you know, it's really not good enough.
So what's the reason it's not good enough is because you saw your biggest rivals, you saw your nemesis effectively drop points earlier in the day. They got battered in a derby, and you think that you should be rubbing salt into the wounds. You should be taking those opportunities and being more ruthless.
Exactly that. Well, when we're watching City drop points, not once but twice, 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, they've done it 4 weeks in a row, but the last 2 weeks, I really thought we was going to hammer it home against Liverpool last week. The week before, the last game. And we didn't. And then today, I mean, of all times for us to be picking up 3 points, it's got to be when City are dropping points. And it feels a little bit like the bottle's not there. I don't want to say bottle. I say that word very loosely, but
So where's it going wrong, Alex? Why are you lacking this ruthless quality? Why are you not stomping on your rivals when they slip up?
It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. And the reason, I know what you're saying with a 7-point gap, it is a healthy gap. And Cundy earlier was saying about that's 3 losses, and we've only lost 2 games all season. But I don't look at it that way. We could also draw 2 games, and City could win 2 games. Now they've got Gahey in. They're really bad at the back, but they've just got Gahey in. He's going to almost definitely stabilise things straight away. He's Premier League proven. He's going to fit straight in, I suspect. And you know, we really needed to make the most of it today. And all it takes is a couple of draws from us and a couple of wins from City, and there's only a couple of points gap. And anything less than a 3-point gap is non-existent in my eyes.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. You've got PTSD because of what Pep Guardiola's done in the past. I'm
exactly
sure.
That.
Can I ask you, Alex? Is part of the lack of ruthlessness down to Victor Gyökeres being a dud?
See, I'm very split on this. I've been.
Oh no, Alex, you've been so Alex. Sorry to interrupt you, but you've been so insightful. You've been so honest. You've been an excellent caller, providing insight and analysis. You're not going to undo all the good work and tell me that Victor Gyökeres isn't a dud, are you?
I was saying I am losing my patience with him. I have been for a long while, but obviously you would have seen against Chelsea with Saka not squaring the ball to him, and he has had that a lot of the season. He's not been getting the service he should have got, but I do agree with you. He is not good enough. He's definitely not what a £70 million striker should be doing for a potential title-winning team. But you know, he's not good enough. But at the same time, I do see and slightly feel for him that he's not getting the service he could be getting. Well, probably did get at Sporting.
It's not the service he's getting at Sporting. It's the players he's playing against. He's playing in the best league in the world. He's playing against the best defenders in the world. If you were the manager for the next game, Alex, do you start Victor Gyökeres?
If Havertz is fully ready to go, then no.
Okay, just a reminder. This is for anybody who hasn't heard this already. Gyökeres was substituted on the 57th minute. Tonight, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots on target, 0 dribbles, 0 key passes, 0 out of 2 ground duels won, 0 out of 5 aerial duels won. I could do all those numbers.
Not good enough.
No.
It's not good enough.
Do you think you win the league though, Alex, overall?
I'd like to say yes, but as I say, I'm still not absolutely confident with a 7-point gap.
Fair enough. It's a great call, Alex. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really insightful stuff there. We're going to stay with Arsenal. We're going to cross to Anthony. Anthony, you're live on talkSPORT.
Hello, Rory. How are you? Great show as always.
That's very kind of you, Anthony. Thank you very much. How are you feeling about the game tonight?
I must say, I'm absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. I watched us against Liverpool. That second half was disgraceful. First second half of the season. And then we've come out, started well against Forest, should have scored, and done it again this game. And I just want to say, who looks at that penalty call, the handball, and doesn't think it's not a penalty? Like, how can you look at that and say it's not a penalty? Who is looking at that? By City is the ref for the game, but who's not told him to go to the monitor there? Because that is honestly scandalous, and that might cost us the league.
Do you know what I will agree with you on, Anthony? I was watching that game, and I'll be totally frank with you. I'm watching the game through the lens of desperately hoping Arsenal do not win the game. For 90 minutes, I was a Nottingham Forest fan, and the second that it happened, I, even in the most biased possible way that I would look at the game, obviously I knew it was a penalty. Obviously, Ola Reina has weirdly, for no reason whatsoever, decided to control the ball with his arm. Like, there's just no excuse for it. It's obviously a penalty.
It's funny, we get called set piece FC, and everyone knows how dangerous we are from them. So Ole Einer's obviously tried to keep it in play with his arm. It is honest. I cannot believe, and you know what? Apology is not good enough. It really, really is not good enough. And Michael Oliver, I'd love to talk to him face to face and just, he's just absolutely, he's rage baited me tonight. He has.
No, I do agree that the penalty should have been given, but let's just move that aside. Arsenal should have won the game in 90 minutes, shouldn't they? You know, I'm thinking of like I say, I was watching it not wanting you to win. And apart from an excellent Bukayo Saka header and a slight goalmouth scramble that involved Gabriel off a couple of set pieces, I don't really know if you created enough.
I mean, Forest took it to us and played well, but
the best player on the pitch was a Forest player. That tells you a story slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
what did you think of the starting lineup from Mikel Arteta? There was a very strong bench. Bukayo Saka, for example, starting on the bench. Did you think that was the correct move?
I don't know. I have a bit of, I don't know. I see a stat the other day and it said we haven't played a Carabao Cup game and an FA Cup game consecutively for years. Like, that doesn't happen. You normally play Prem then Carabao Cup, or FA Cup then Prem. So it's obviously hard to kind of rotate in that situation from Mikel Arteta's point of view. And we did have a tough game, and Saka got kicked to bits by Caicedo on Wednesday. And I wasn't angry with the lineup, but Gyökeres, he just has to do more. And I just cannot wait for Havertz to come back, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fed up pretending that he's good enough to lead the line for Arsenal. I feel like we're being gaslit into believing that he's good enough to lead the line. He's just not that player, is he? He's just not,
He's a great... honestly, he hasn't had one... I can't remember one time for Arsenal this season he's had a clear-cut chance in front of goal. He has had the least space. The CS stat came out. Least space out of everyone in the Premier League. He's had the least space on the ball, something like 3 metres on average, which shows he's getting very tight to defenders, but defenders are getting very, very tight to him, and he's not had a chance to breathe. And the ball, we still haven't worked a way to give it to him quick enough, because look at him in Portugal. The ball, the first thing everyone done in that team was think, where's Victor? Give the ball over the top in space, and he would create something. But the way we play, teams are in the 6-yard box, most of them, and Saka's taking far too many touches. And Eze, we're getting so much talk going around Eze not starting and not getting enough minutes. But one, he's played more minutes than he ever has in this time of the season. And two, when he comes on, he doesn't want to get involved, and he's stressing me out because
I agree.
Obviously we know what he's got.
Yeah, he's a class player. He's a class player, Eberechi Eze, no doubt about it. But it is very interesting, Victor Gyökeres, and it was mentioned there by Anthony, scoring goals in the Portuguese league. Pinging them in against Santa Clara and Braga doesn't necessarily tell you everything that you need to know about a player. Now, do keep your calls coming in to us. 03717 223344. That's the number to call, and you could be live on talkSPORT. 03717 223344. Crystal Palace have gone 10 games without a win after defeat at Sunderland, which followed another explosive post-match interview by Oliver Glasner. Palace fans, I would love to know what you think about this and what everything that's going on at Selhurst Park. And Man City fans, was today's Manchester Derby Day defeat a turning point in the title race? 03717 223344. Get your calls coming in, and you could be live on talkSPORT on the Rory Jennings Show.
and go, it's only 7 points. It doesn't feel enough. And obviously Aston Villa in the equation as well.
Yeah, I think Arsenal fans will probably agree with you on that. Considering how good they've been, considering how bad you've been, they should have a 12-point gap. The fact that there is only a 7-point gap between the two clubs, considering how good it feels like Arsenal have been and how poor Man City have been, has got to give you at least room for optimism, hasn't it?
Well, and it's a derby. I mean, that's a game over. All the derbies, the Manchester derbies, are now over. It's a tricky away day. It's not an ideal performance. It's really bad. It's not an excuse, but that game's now over. So all the other games for City are, obviously there's a tricky one at Anfield. There's one against Arsenal at the Etihad right at the end of the season. But in terms of that tricky derby fixture, that's gone. So City will get better 100%. And you think Gahey comes in, Semenyo's still got a lot of time to settle in. He can't justifiably expect him to be putting on a show against Man United. He had a poor game. So he can grow into the role in the next few weeks. And I think it's a major reprieve. I really do. And the other flip side to the argument is that Arsenal have to go and get the goals themselves. It's not like they're guaranteed to get 10 wins in a row just by default. They have to actually make opportunities. And it felt today, Rory, I don't know how much of the game you watch, but if they don't score from a set piece or a corner, 90% of the attacking outlet from Arsenal is completely nullified. Yes, they had a couple of chances, Martinelli, Gyökeres through on goal, but you do feel the only threat still at this stage in the season for Arsenal is a long throw or a corner. Do you win a title doing that, really?
Yeah, no, it is interesting. So in recent weeks, we've seen Manchester City drop points to Sunderland. We've seen Manchester City drop points to Chelsea, drop points to Brighton, and also drop points today to Manchester United. But you are only 7 points clear, 7 points behind Arsenal. Does that feel insurmountable to you? Do you feel like you are still capable of winning this Premier League title?
Oh, I've seen worse. I've seen 8 points from Sir Alex Ferguson's sides going into April, end of March, April, and they bottled it. And City beat Man United in that season. Vincent Kompany leapt over Paul Scholes, which isn't too hard to do, but he got that big bullet header. Aguero scored on the final day of the season. This Arsenal side are nowhere near that Sir Alex Ferguson side. Let's be completely real. They haven't got the manager either. So Arsenal lose at the Etihad, so that's 3 points off. So we keep saying 7 points in this conversation, and people online and whatever, they're saying 7 points. It's not 7, it's 4 points, because City will beat Arsenal at the Etihad. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Should have been a 1-0 win, really, at the Emirates. Let's be completely real as well. So City win that game at the Etihad. It's only 4 points. Will Arsenal draw a couple of games? 100%.
And when you say 100% there, when you say 100% that Arsenal are going to draw some games, they're going to drop the points. What are you basing that on? Do you think Arsenal are ultimately going to bottle it? Do you think Mikel Arteta is going to make bad decisions? Do you think Victor Gyökeres is going to cost them in a big moment? Do you think the back line will ultimately concede more goals than it is doing at the moment? Where do you see the vulnerability?
It's that front three. And Martinelli missed an open net basically against Forest, and Gyökeres had a 10-yard head start. You could have given him a 100-yard head start, and he still wouldn't beat Murillo. I mean, it's insane. It's insane, Roars. He should have at least had a clear shot on goal, and he was through on goal. So look, you look back to Blackburn Rovers, who had a limited side. They won it in the 90s. You look back to maybe one of those older Chelsea sides you had that aren't quite the creme de la creme of title-winning sides, or maybe Leicester City. Like Leicester City had Jamie Vardy. Blackburn had Alan Shearer. I'm trying to think of you, maybe Costa
2015 team.
Yeah, it's not quite Drogba, it's not quite maybe Anelka, but it was a short stint. Like, Negredo for Pellegrini. All these guys that I'm saying are kind of at the bottom of the ranking in terms of some of the great winners of the Premier League. Dzeko, Balotelli, they're all better than Gyökeres. And they've lifted Premier League titles. So somewhere along the line, he's going to have to change it. He's going to have to take Gyökeres off, and he's going to have to figure out that left-wing position, because they can't keep having Martinelli miss chances. He's an impact player from the bench. But Trossard's the only one you can stick out there as well. I think Eze has to play somewhere in that front three. I think they need a bit of control. They need someone that just gives them that end product. On his right foot, he can score big goals like he did for Palace. He's barely getting a kick, had about 12 minutes in the game today. You do not win a title with that front three. Mark my words.
Okay, Booth. So let's now take it away from Arsenal. For Man City to win the league, you're confident that Arsenal are going to drop the requisite amount of points. Are you confident that Man City are going to pick them up? Obviously, you're adding Gahey and Semenyo to the team in January. 7 points, so you're going to have to win a lot of games. And as we just pointed out, you're dropping points left, right, and centre at the moment. What's going to change?
He's going to have to figure out the midfield. Rodri today was it was one man in midfield, and then there was 4 attackers, and there were 4 defenders, and there was a midfield of 1 today. Like we talk about Ruben Amorim having a double pivot of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, that isn't enough. 2. Like today it was 1 for Pep Guardiola. Bernardo was nowhere near him, and Phil Foden was floating all over the pitch. So for me, in these big games, look, I look at the Etihad. I think you can back City to pick up a lot of wins with Rodri by himself, and you get Cherki in there, Foden, etc. In a big away day, maybe it's Bayern Munich away, maybe it's the League Cup final against Arsenal, maybe it's Anfield in a few weeks. It has to be Nico O'Reilly and Rodri, or it has to be Nico Gonzalez and Rodri with Nico O'Reilly at left back. That suddenly looks a lot more powerful, but it can't just be Rodri by himself. It's a little... I feel sorry for the guy. Like, Guardiola's got this guy, and he's got him playing against... Like, even against you lot, Chelsea, a couple of weeks ago. A little bit desperate, wasn't it? I think he came on in the game in the second half and trying to change things a little bit, and against Brighton as well. He was diving into tackles all by himself. Just come back from 2 major injuries. Like, he needs a lot more support at the base of that midfield, I'd say.
So you think the midfield is a big issue? What about up front? Like subbing Erling Haaland in a derby when you desperately need goals. It felt like a statement to me. Do you think Erling Haaland will rediscover himself, rediscover his form? Were you disappointed with his contribution today?
No, he was poor, Ross, and there comes a moment where you say there are some footballers in the world that are so big that there's not even a manager that can put an arm around him. Like, Guardiola is the biggest manager right now active in football. But Haaland's on a 10-year contract on $500,000 a week. Like, Guardiola can't even talk to this guy based on the money he's on, based on the legendary status that he's already got as a footballer, based on what he's achieved, the goals that he's got, etc. The only person that can motivate Haaland to really want to be hungry and bully defenders and come short for the ball if the service isn't there, like it was today. The only person that can galvanise yourself when you're the size of Erling Haaland is Erling Haaland. I can't sit on the radio tell you, Haaland has to do this, that, and the other. Guardiola can't even tell him anything. The only player, he's so protected. He's got so much money coming in, and rightfully so. He's a great of the game. But he has to have some self-reflection and go, I have to do a lot more here. I have to do a lot more. I have to show willing. I have to be physical. I have to get maybe a cut on the face or a cut on the knee. Show that I've been in battle a little bit. And that's where it was missing today. But he's got a lot of pressure on because we talk about Semenyo. I think Semenyo can play down the middle. And Marmoush comes back as well. So, look, he has to start every game. But if it really drops off, he stops scoring. I think there's a lot more pressure in the squad because of Semenyo and Marmoush coming back from AFCON as well.
Yeah. For Boovy, final word. Who wins the Premier League title in May?
Well, it's Manchester City, 100%. Arsenal haven't won it in 20 years, Wars. They don't know what it means to win it. And if they bottle it this season, it's the worst capitulation in the history of sport in this country.
Fantastic. Lawrence Boovy, thank you so much for finding the time to talk to us. Very confident Manchester City fan there. Now, coming up next, we will hear from 2 very angry managers and take more of your calls. Give me a ring, 03717 223344. It's the Rory Jennings Show on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT Superstar Breakfast.
You wake up late for work, man, you don't want to go. Cause Brazil and Paula haven't finished their show. Pump up the volume and make lots of noise. You're listening to the Breakfast Beastie Boys. You got voice for your eyes to follow. The original health communication from the Breakfast Party Animals. Alan Al Rock Brazil and Ray Party Paula on the talkSPORT Superstar Breakfast every Friday morning from 6. Whoa, yeah. The talkSPORT Superstar Breakfast.
Yabba dabba doo, it's the breakfast show for you, bright and breezy, easy. Yabba dabba day, corporate hospitality and other freebies. Cheers, guys and girls. Come and till December 2, it's another special brew. Oh, come on, sing the talkSPORT breakfast song. Sing it on.
Easiest sporting action in the morning.
talkSPORT Superstar Breakfast.
Back tomorrow morning from 6 on talkSPORT. Your dancer.
3 young Egon?
It's talkSPORT's live football, Governor. Where do you want it?
Bleeding hell, it's humongous. Right, take the 110 live Premier League exclusive.
Rory Jennings.
You're listening to talkSPORT and this is the Rory Jennings Show. Now, before we get back to your calls, let's hear from two very angry managers. We're going to start from the Tottenham Hotspur manager, Thomas Frank, as he had his say after their late defeat to West Ham United earlier today.
I think it's no secret that we work very, very, very hard to try to get the results. I think we put some overall good performances in. Are they through the roof? No. Are they bad? No. Are they enough to get more points we got? Yes. And then when you don't get it, and especially with two late goals, where especially Bournemouth and this game, against West Ham, both the game we could have won. I should have won second half. We didn't. And you lose last minute. That's just tough.
Ooh, heavy. Whilst across London, Crystal Palace manager Oliver Glasner didn't hold back when he spoke after his side's 2-1 defeat at Sunderland.
Difficult result, difficult for me to accept, not because of the performance. I think 50-60 minutes performance was well. Yeah, then we had 15-20 minutes where we were under pressure, we conceded a goal. Players tried everything until the end, they're leaving their heart on the pitch, but we feel that we are being abandoned completely and, selling our captain one day before a Premier League game. No understanding. We're playing with 12-13 players from our original squad for weeks now, and then that makes it so tough to accept this defeat because the players they gave everything, and we had no substitution. I was looking on the bench, just kids there, and that's how it is. That's I think why we are where we are, and if your heart gets torn out twice a season, one day before a game, so with Eze in summer and with your captain now, I've just completely no understanding.
Powerful words there from Oliver Glasner. Really is powerful. Said that his heart has been ripped out twice. Firstly, referring to Eze, and secondly, referring to Mark Gahey. It really has been a terrible 8-10 days for Crystal Palace. No wins in 10 games. And they were launched out of the FA Cup by Macclesfield FC last week. We're going to now speak to Crystal Palace fan Liam. Liam, you're live on talkSPORT. What is going on at Selhurst Park?
Oh, hello, mate. Yeah, pretty mental couple of days, really. Well, since the Macclesfield game. I mean, all that yesterday, and then today. Yeah, just absolutely implosion, should we say?
It just doesn't
Not
make
really
sense.
sure.
Did you predict this? Did you see this coming?
No. Look, I think it all stems back to obviously winning the cup final, greatest day obviously in the club's history. And the truth is, we didn't back him. I think the club deep down they'll reflect on it and go, did we back him the best we can? The answer is definitely not in terms of income.
I think we may have just lost Liam, which is a real shame because I was very interested to hear what he had to say there. I think the Crystal Palace perspective on everything going on at the club is a fascinating one. So we will try and get Liam back. But for now, let's change direction a touch and talk Tottenham. We're going to welcome Mark to the show. Mark, you're live on talkSPORT.
Hi, Rory. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I mean, when the home fans are serenading the home manager with the line that you're getting sacked in the morning, it feels like the writing's on the wall, doesn't it?
Yeah, I last spoke to you in August after we'd won at City for 6 points out of 6. How times change. I think for me, the plan probably would have been to plod along till the summer. Poch will be available then. Tuchel, I'm not saying we get him, but he'll be available. There are probably more options in the summer. However, I think he'll keep his job this week. I think if we lose at Burnley next week, there's a real possibility we could be behind Bournemouth and Leeds. And it's not inconceivable. I know people will laugh, but the 10-point gap to West Ham isn't insurmountable. And I just think we could, be dragged into a potential relegation battle. We sold Johnson. Since then, we've lost Bentancur, Richarlison, and Kudus. We've only made one signing. It's worrying times, if I'm honest with you.
What do you want to happen? Like, what's your view on this from your perspective? Do you want Frank sacked?
It's really difficult. I don't hold him accountable. Ultimately, you can talk about tactics and managers and styles of play. You're only as good as your recruitment. And, I know I'm banging the drum again. It's been several years and years. But, we've been carried by Kane and Son for years. Our forward line, none of them are up to it. We've got a centre forward in Kolo Muani, who it's not as if he's, I'm not saying he's got a bad record where he's got 3 in 10 or 4 in 20. He hasn't scored a single Premier League goal yet. It's now mid-January.
No, but it's been embarrassing for Frank. I mean, you can't insulate Frank from this altogether. You've got one win in 8.
He's doing an atrocious job, but, realistically, what we're going to do, just get, an unfit caretaker till the end of the season. I think they need to sort of if they're going to get rid of him, I think they need to go now and try and get a Maresca or a Xabi Alonso, move heaven and earth, not just appoint someone, to the end of the season that the players don't respect, who isn't going to have much of a difference. I think you either just persist and hope for the best, or you go and get a top manager now, like a Maresca or a
Do you know what though, Mark? And obviously, I'm talking about this from my perspective, from the outside looking in. I think that I could have made quite a valiant defence of Thomas Frank. I think I could have spoken about the damage that Postecoglou did. I could have spoken about the fact that you were 17th in the league last year, and he came into a club that was ultimately failing despite having one glorious night. But this feels like a new low. Nobody loses to West Ham. Certainly, nobody loses to West Ham at home, and the rivalry between the clubs it's almost unforgivable to put in performances like you have done under Thomas Frank in derbies. When we played you, okay, it only finished 1-0, but we absolutely battered you 1-0 at the Lane. You just didn't turn up. You went to Arsenal, where Beriche Eze scores a hat-trick. Again, you just don't turn up. And now you've been done by West Ham. That's Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham United. Your biggest games of the season, and you're just not turning up. And that, from this manager's perspective, is just unforgivable.
I totally agree. I think the problem is, mate, we can't mount a coherent attack. Every goal we score seems to be from a set piece, whether it's, a direct header from Romero or Van der Ven, or we scored a couple lately where Ben Davies and Paulinho have sort of got on the end of balls in and out of the box at ricochet. I can't remember the last time we actually put a move together that resulted in a goal.
Yeah, but when you look at your attack, when you look at the players, like sometimes football can be a very complex game, can't it? And we talk about XG stats and pie charts and shapes and philosophies and whatever else. Other times we can just look at the players and we can see, if you want to really understand why Tottenham aren't a very good side, you go, well, they've got one of the worst goalkeepers in the league. It feels
the worst.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And do you know when it becomes really apparent when you look at the forward line, like Odegaard, so average. Xavi Simons, so average. Matthias Tell, so average. Kolo Muani, so average. Bergvall, you all talk a great game about, but I don't really see it. Dominic Solanke, average. It just feels like so many of the players in a forward-thinking capacity at Tottenham are terrible. Realistically, what can Thomas Frank do about that?
You've hit the nail on the head, mate. And again, it's like the age-old argument. We stockpile these young players that we get for 20, 30 million, put them on low wages. Every now and then you get a jewel in the crown like a Dele Alli or a Kyle Walker, albeit I'm going back, almost a decade with those two examples. But 9 times out of 10, they just amount to nothing. I'm totally with you. Everyone keeps going on about Bergvall. He may well be a good player, but he isn't ready to play centre midfield in the Premier League for us week in, week out yet. I've seen nothing from Archie Gray that suggests that he's going to be, good enough to play week in, week out. We're better off, as everybody knows, just making 1 or 2 signings in the summer, putting them on decent wages, rather than buying 5 or 6 inadequate players for nothing and hoping one of them comes good.
Yeah, I think that was a great call there. I really appreciate your time, Mark. We're now going to cross and speak to Liam, the Crystal Palace fan. Liam, we're going to give it round 2. You're back on talkSPORT.
Sorry, mate. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll just look. I've got to be honest. I think Glasner's disgraced himself in the last 24, 48 hours. I've got to be honest. That's a man. Them comments. He clearly he doesn't want to be here anymore. If I'm being honest, I think he's angling for a way out, but still trying to kind of come out of it, smelling with roses type thing, as if he's done all he can. Do you know what I mean? just poor. Like them comments, them comments yesterday, he's gone off script there. Like that wasn't. You can just tell that wasn't a pre-planned announcement of him and the chairman. It's just obvious. Like you don't. And why would you announce that now when we've just lost to Macclesfield? We're in the middle of a transfer window. We need players, as everyone knows. Like we're light, and then the manager's come out and done that. It's like, he's an amazing manager.
The problem is now, like, what can Parish do? Like, this is the same situation. Like, you know, when Ruben Amorim pressed the self-destruct button at Manchester United, or Enzo Maresca did exactly the same thing at Chelsea. Once a manager has spoken like this, you almost leave the chairman in this situation, Steve Parish, no option but to act.
Yeah, I would be absolutely gobsmacked if he's still manager by tomorrow morning. Like, I don't see. Also, one of his comments today, he's basically. Another thing, we didn't make a single substitution today, and obviously I was at the game, and it looked like he didn't really try and win the game second half. I've got to be honest. Like, he's putting a centre half up front when we've got a striker on the bench in Ucha, whether he's good enough or not. You know, you've got a centre forward on your books. And then he come over at full time, and he got a bit of stick. As I said, I think if he didn't say these comments, like the whole fan base, we were fully behind this guy. Like, he's given us the best couple of years we've ever had. We're all behind him, but I think them comments have just.
What do you think the motivation was? Do you think that he, you know, when he announced that he was going to be leaving at the end of the season, did he hope that it was going to have a galvanising quality?
Well, I thought this because obviously before today we're 9 without a win anyway. So part of me was like, well, you know what? It will go one or two ways. We will just on the way up to Sunderland today. I honestly thought we would lose 3-0 and completely roll over, and then it'd have to go anyway after that, because it's kind of like, you know, it's like your message doesn't carry as much weight naturally, because he's obviously on his way out, isn't he? Or he's announcing he's leaving. Or it would fully galvanise the team and the fans, and we'd go up here and win. And look, we didn't really. I say we rolled over. Like, we didn't really. Like, it was quite an even game, but as I said, I don't think we had a shot in the second half. So yeah, I personally think, like, look at his CV. Everywhere he goes, he's a 2-year man, and the same thing that's happening now happened at Frankfurt. It may have even happened at Wolfsburg. And look, he's obviously he's a clever man, but you know, what I will say about him, it's one thing doing it at Crystal Palace when you're the big dog and you've delivered the trophies and stuff. You know, I don't think he'll get the Man United job, but if he got the Man United job and he started doing all this.
Any thoughts on what's next for Palace, Liam? Obviously, you know, you're in Europe. There's still a lot to play for this season. You won the FA Cup last year. Yeah. You've obviously won the Charity Shield. What's next?
Mm-hmm. So, look, as I said, we've got, as you just rightly say, there's a lot. The season there's a lot to play for. Like, so for me, the objective has to be to win that Conference League. You know, we're favourites for a reason. I know we're in a bad spot at the moment, but you know, if any Prem team was in that competition, I'd back them to win it. Got to be honest, just due to the finances of it all. The objective has got to win that, and if he does leave, I don't think we can go down the interim route. You can't like promote the assistant or something. I think we'd have to go out there and actually get a manager, because it's still a good opportunity for someone. As I say, like, it's a Premier League job. You're in Europe. If someone comes in for the next 6 months, delivers that trophy, then
game on, and you're in the Europa League the following year. That is a fantastic call there from Liam. Liam, really appreciate your time. Insightful stuff there on the perilous situation at Crystal Palace. Now, coming up next, we're going to hear from both managers from this evening's game at the City Ground, and keep your calls coming in to me on 03717 223344 to air your views on the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT.
TalkSPORT, the nation's football radiation commentation station.
Be there for Super Bowl 60 on talkSPORT.
Now, with the Super Bowl just around the corner, talkSPORT is giving you and a friend the chance to experience it live. You've got until Thursday to enter for a chance to win tickets to the Super Bowl on Sunday the 8th of February. Return flights to San Francisco, 3 nights accommodation and spending money. In just a few weeks, you could be soaking up the Super Bowl atmosphere and exploring San Francisco. Here is how to enter. For your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. Lines close this Thursday, 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Right, now let's hear from both managers after Arsenal's 0-0 draw against Nottingham Forest. We're going to start with Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta with talkSPORT's Chris Hull.
Obviously disappointed because we wanted the 3 points, and that's the way we prepared the game and the way we tried from the beginning till the end. We haven't conceded a single shot. We created 4 big chances with Martinelli, an empty goal, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Mikel Merino. On top of that, there is a clear penalty that has not been given. And the rest is as well credit to the opposition. That's how they make it difficult for you, how they change momentum in the game. And at the end, we wanted to win it, and we haven't managed to do it.
You referenced a clear penalty there. Is that the Ola Aina handball at the edge of the penalty area?
Yeah, I don't think there was another one, so yes, it is this one.
Yeah, so the Premier League saying that the ball was played off his shoulder first and his arm was also in a natural position, so you would disagree with that?
No, it is true that he plays with the shoulder, but then he brings the arm in to keep the ball inside the pitch, so it's a clear penalty.
Okay, in terms of the clinicality in front of goal today, something you've just referenced, is that a problem just today, or are you getting concerned that this is a trend over the course of this season?
No, because we scored 4 goals the game before, 3 the previous one, so no, but today, if you want to win games, you have to score goals, and against a team that is very hard to create, we had 4 big chances, and we should have put them away.
And Chris then spoke to Nottingham Forest boss Sean Dyche, who was happy with the point.
That was a performance of character and endeavour. You must be so proud of you boys.
Yeah, very pleased. Not easy against these sides. You know, a lot of good from the performance and a lot of the hard yards of a performance. Players have been terrific this week in training, feeding back to us, we're listening to us, and we find that nice balance for the group. And as you saw them today, we've got a group who are totally committed to what we're trying to achieve here.
The 2 lads in the studio, Jason and Jamie, thought it would have been incredibly harsh, and they didn't think it was a penalty. Mikel obviously did. Fine lines and fine margins, but it would have been incredibly harsh for them to have given that against you.
Yeah, I think so, and I think I try and call these things fair. I think it would be incredibly harsh. I don't like seeing them in football given against teams. You know, there's not that much to go. He gets a nudge in the back, he falls forward, the ball hits his arm. He's not trying to sort of spin it on his hand, you know, to put it at his feet and kick it away. So I think that would have been incredibly harsh. I think we had a good shout for one ourselves, you know, which didn't go in our favour, because you're talking about, you know, millimetres for his foot to land in the box, and it's on the line of the box and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think, overall, I think probably it's the right decision to not give either, but it was a close call for our one as well, I thought.
Final question from me. That's a terrific Arsenal side that you've got a point against. In your short tenure here at Forest, does that rank as possibly the best point?
Well, I don't know, because, you know, we go to Anfield and win 3-0. You know, we were excellent against Tottenham here. So, look, there's different things going on, but that's a different kind of point, and you have to learn over the Premier League season how to get different points and wins, you know, and I've been speaking to the group about that. And so I was pleased with that performance to get a point against a top side.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Wise words there from Sean Dyche. That's it from me tonight. And as always, thank you so much to everybody who's called into the show. I will be back on Thank Football. It's Friday next week. And don't forget, Sam Matterface has all of the Sunday goals as they go in from 1:30 tomorrow. Before Majestic and Alan Pardew take your calls from 6:30 tomorrow evening. And if you love your NFL, we have live coverage of the 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks on talkSPORT 2 from 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. But coming up next, it's the best boxing show on the radio. It's Fight Night right here on talkSPORT.